Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's the fourth Monday already.
Already.
I'm muted. Hi.
But we
Hey.
ready to be ready to be ready.
We are
Ready to be.
Hey, New Haven and the rest of the world.
Yes. Can you believe we're already at the end of the month of January?
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
January is
All of that happened. So yeah, we are officially live. Thinking out loud with the elements.
yes.
Come through, share, tell a friend, get you some tea. Get you
Okay.
some tea.
Gotta get the tea. Oh.
Or a glass of wine. You know, how fire like to do.
Whatever your
Whatever your
libation is.
preferred beverages, you should have it right now as you chat with us this evening for the next maybe 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For
ready.
those of you who, what you have? Coconut water?
No, it's agua, it's water. And that's harvest. She got the harvest.
Okay.
I want
Well, everybody who's nervous about it, have wine with me.
Absolutely. So yes, we're gonna jump right into it. We appreciate you all spending this Monday evening with us, the fourth Monday of the month. And for those of you who don't know, we're gonna start from the beginning. Who are we?
Right.
You gotta go in order.
We gotta go to Earth. So
Yes.
yes, I am Shayla Streeter, aka Earth. Your foodie companion, love food. But I'm also your conscious eater. So I make sure that anything I eat, I read the labels.
Woo, yes indeed. And I am Hafiza Teray, also known as Wind. As you know, I'm the one that keeps things flowing, let's just say.
Right, keeping the fire burning.
Right.
Okay, yes. We definitely gotta put all of that oxygen to that fire. So yes, but health and wellness, travel, all of that good stuff. That's kind of the angle.
Spiritual, yeah.
Definitely spiritually based,
Mm-hmm.
initiated and always, looking to deepen my practice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Arden Santana Fire, the philosophical warrior who advocates for what's righteous through education and civic literacy.
Yeah.
You know, Fire gonna make us get it together.
She is gonna make it together because I'm just adding like ad-libbing. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And we all got our little blurbs that she poetically wrote. We gotta get it together.
No, you all wrote them. I just did the editing and revising.
You sprinkle some of that fire up there.
So who are we collectively? Right? Collectively, let me see if this one ready to go, y'all.
We are culture
Elements of abundance. We
culture keepers.
Okay, I'm pulling up my notes. Because
we are culture keepers.
Did we even include
who curate experiences to restore? Give us some feedback, everybody. Is this what if you've experienced this? Is this what we're doing? We're culture keepers who are. What was the next part?
Yeah. And why don't I see this in our shared notes?
Copying and
pasting.
Yes.
Culture keepers who curate experiences to restore indigenous values within communal existence.
Okay, can you say that again, please?
Is that what we're doing, you all? The culture keepers who, let's see, we curate experiences to restore indigenous values within communal experiences. Existence.
Right. Yes.
Right. So I mean, and that's the thing when you're not being authentic, we still at the point of memorization, you are, because we truly are just being who we are.
Right.
So we're forced to put it into words as people are asking, who are the elements? Well, what do you do? Trying to make it clear. Because truly we said this was a movement and we left it at that. You know what I mean? Movements are sort of, there's no words to explain them. You're doing the movement, you're doing the action, you're being, you're living. So, for us to put it in words is really an injustice because the English language just can't do it.
It can't capture the emotion. It can't capture the energy. It can't capture the ever evolvingness of our beings. So,
the thing about us is about a feeling, right? So when you experience the elements, it's a feeling you get from us. So to put it into words, you're right.
It's limiting. It's limiting.
It is.
So where have we been? Where have we been spreading our feelings? Where we been for the past 4 weeks, y'all?
A month.
You don't know.
Where have we been, you all?
Where we
We see,
been?
I do the little list to keep it up because it's a
I
lot.
know.
We forget. We just
do.
doing it. We
Connect
just
and
doing
Build on
stuff.
Thursday. That was beautiful.
Whose
What was that,
birthday?
Shay?
Connect and Build on Thursday.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was probably one of the more recent experience, and it was an Elements of Abundance offering. Connect
Yes, it
and
was.
Build. We were
Our
at
first Connect and Build of the year,
Of
which was
the
themed
year.
for the new year.
So this was our New Year's party of sorts, or connection, right? So we were at M Activity,
Nickel Street.
which is a very nice ambiance. Like the energy was good
I was
there.
pleased with the whole experience.
Yeah.
It really, the venue, the food. So thank you and shout out and kudos to our sponsors.
Yes.
So the Cuba,
Yeah.
the delicious cuisine. Like truly, we are grateful and appreciative to Sol de Cuba and Armada Brewing,
Yes.
2 local businesses that brought everybody the feel goods.
They did.
You know, the nutrition and the beverage. Yes.
They enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So we said Sol de Cuba on Crown Street in New Haven.
Yes. And Armada Brewing on River Street in New Haven also.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So that was our sponsors. And we hosted Sans Coco. Sans Coco was in the building with the
young entrepreneur.
Yes, a young entrepreneur with your favorite winter beverage made healthy. And I hope I got her tagline 100% correct. Yeah, but that was good. And we had Ease Monkey Trails in the house with the delicious nut seed. Well, it was a good mix. We don't even know what's in it. There's no seeds. There are nuts.
There are nuts.
Nuts. Yes.
And then Mama K's popping.
Oh, pop.
Yeah, the popcorn. If you don't eat popcorn, they'll make you eat it, and that's a true fact. There's someone in the community who did not eat popcorn until Mama K's Poppin' came on the scene. So we had
very delicious.
So thanks to all the sponsors and contributors to making our first Connect and Build of 2023 an absolutely connective event.
Yes, I finally finished my popcorn, the spicy one.
Oh, the spicy one with the little kick to it. What was the name of the brewery? Armada.
ARMADA.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. On River Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was this week, the third Thursday, as will all of the Connect and Builds be, unless we have another major event going on during that month. But otherwise, the third Thursdays. What was before that, Shay?
Oh, we did the lab.
Breaking Bread.
That's a given. So we'll talk a little bit about Breaking Bread. They know we're doing Breaking Bread.
Right? I know.
We gonna do that. But we might have, for our new viewers who don't know about Breaking Bread, tell them what it is, to Shay. Tell the people what Breaking Bread is.
Right. So Breaking Bread is definitely one of those times where moms get together, dads too, and get to unwind and cook dinner and bring whatever's in your household. And we cook pretty much vegan dishes. And then you have the children who get to play and interact and engage in activities in a fun, safe space. We got the music playing. You got good food and good, delicious, just a good moment, just good energy around being around good people, great conversations, and laughter, right? We share a lot of laughter from Breaking Bread. Yeah.
Right. You're watching Thinking Out Loud, and what comes to mind, it missed my mind. It slipped my mind. Hafiza, what were you saying?
Well, no, I do appreciate that.
Menopause brain is working, y'all. Menopause brain is real.
Well, just fatigue. Can we just say we've been doing a lot? Because I had to step back from that too. Everybody tell me I need to get more sleep, but just like we are going, and it's so purpose driven that it's not something that feels like I want to slow down, but then just having that awareness, okay, maybe. And now I feel like now that I'm getting a little bit more sleep, I'm more tired. Like I want to go to bed. Like how does that work? So yeah, but yeah, breaking bread, just really connecting and carving out that time to do so, right? To have those down moments where you can just kind of enjoy whatever the conversation is. It's not necessarily work related, but we're always going to be speaking about our passion. Like that's just going to come up. Something's going to, trigger it, and that's just the dialogue. But just creating a safe space for community. We break bread, we eat good food, we drink, delicious beverages, whether they be alcoholic or non.
Right.
Enjoy each other's company, as well as the children enjoying the company. So they look forward. Are we breaking bread this week? Because they want to connect too. And I think part of what the mission statement spoke about us being communal beings, like we naturally choose to be amongst each other. Absolutely. And that's like even with the delegation of responsibility, like no one person is supposed to be doing everything. So even if it's as simple as somebody prepping and then someone cooking and then someone cleaning, that breaks those three things up. So not one person has to do it, and that makes all the difference, especially when you're talking and enjoying the company while
laughing and music.
It's very healing.
Good conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good woosah from the week, right? Like, I mean, the weeks are great.
Perfect way to end the week without feeling all the weight of the week on you. Yeah. But I just remember, I recall what it is, you all. Okay. Launchpad.
That's what I was about.
You all went to Launchpad. I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah. Launchpad at Concord. Charles Kerwin.
Charles.
Thank you for the correction. Dean at Yale University in the Economics and Business Department with his discussion. He was all of the panel on economics in the Black community.
Yeah.
Stellar. Just stellar.
It was. It was very conversational and personable. It wasn't like, just all kind of intellectual jargon. Like it really, who he reminded me of at first when he was first talking? Sadhguru. Because how he says, you see? Or, like everything, like after everything, you see? Like after everything he says, I was like, I'm getting a real guru vibe from him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in like
he told a beautiful story. It was it made sense. Like this is an economist who spoke in plain language.
Yes.
To be able to break down really and really his message, the highlight, the key moral message theme that he wanted resounded when he left was make sure children believe they can do anything they can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
It boils down to that.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
We are not limited by anything. No. We are only limited by the limits we place on ourselves. But I had to write down his quote, and I was gonna put that up on a post, but it was what's that?
Believing you can is not certain, but believing you can't is a guarantee.
Guarantee. Believing you can't is a certainty.
Wow.
One more time.
Say it again. I'm gonna say it again.
Believing you can is no guarantee. Believing you can't is a certainty.
Certainty. Yes. Like you got me.
So just that whole understanding of the importance of belief and how that shapes the reality that we exist in. Absolutely. So whatever you're applying it to, whether it's economics or your health or your relationships or whatever it is, what we believe plays a significant role in what we manifest. So if you don't believe, or if you're indoctrinated, like he was saying, at a young age, that you have limits and there's things that you can't do or not capable of doing, then you never reach for more, and therefore it's a certainty that it's not going to happen. But if it's expansive and it's like, whatever you put your mind to, whatever you put energy, because it's not just like miraculously just gonna happen. Like you're putting energy to it, you're putting effort into accomplishing something, and that pays off. There's cause and effect. So there's an effect that comes with that, and that's what he really shared, that he had somebody to instill that in him, to be his cheerleader, even to this day, to say, you got this, you can do this.
Right. And that's why we was always talking about like mentors, right? Like our young people, having mentors, right? Just
Yes.
growing up with someone. Actually, I got a text today asking me were there any male mentors for um, Amani, right? And so, little boy who's 5, 6 years old. There's no young male mentoring programs for that age group. They start in middle and high school, mainly high school. You know, so yeah.
And they said the first 7 years, and I know Arda, you
Are
can
the
speak
most
to that
critical.
as far as development. That's the critical time where you got to be developing that self-esteem and saying like, yes, you can, and also exposure. Like there's people before you who have done miraculous things, and if you can see that, then you can then begin to dream bigger for yourself. It's not an impossibility. We all are capable, but that belief plays a role in being able to accomplish that.
Absolutely.
Well, I know at Sage Academy, the children will tell you that belief is first, and then discipline and hard work.
I know that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it shows from the children too. Like they have a strong belief and very confident. Like our children are very confident. Like it just shows like the growth, right? And just seeing them progress into this space of like this individual minds of these little souls. Right? They're just growing and developing. But again, right, like that belief. We pat on our backs. Like, at the end of the day, like
I will do that.
That's the word.
Mama's creations.
Yes.
But there was also some I guess cognitive things that he wanted, that we need to be mindful of. So once we believe we can do anything, what is it that we want to do, and with whom and why?
Yeah. And I think that the communal piece and the community economics was something that he was really driving home. And I don't recall the name of the initiative that he's heading with Yale University. It was like, it's not diversity, equity, inclusion, but it had something to do specifically with connecting with the Black community from a bottom-up approach. And he made mention of like going out into the community to have conversations about what the need is. And not really knowing, you can't make assumptions on what the community needs. So he said that the last 2 years really has been spent having those kind of dialogues, in addition to COVID kind of slowing things down, but having those kind of dialogues to identify what it is that is needed.
Absolutely.
So
it was in a nutshell, access to higher education. Right? Notions of wealth being something we have to create even through our marriages. Like you can reduce the gap in those living in poverty by the upper class or wealthier and affluent being okay with marrying down.
Is that what you took away?
Yes. That he said we don't marry within the Black community. The rich tend to marry the rich.
Right. But he also mentioned that when the rich do marry down, that it doesn't bring that generation up. Like it doesn't bring their counterparts up. Like they're still basically struggling with that same, like it doesn't improve from generation after generation for that bloodline necessarily. Like as far as cultivating the same values, you're bringing resources together. So if you're not marrying up and you're marrying somebody that you have to like bring up, in my understanding, it wasn't continuing the generation of wealth. It's almost like every generation you're still starting over.
Oh, interesting. Because I interpreted him to say that it's something we should give consideration to because it would allow the class, and let me not say marry down. He said the rich marry the rich and the poor marry the poor. So if that would spread the economic to the other family or the other class by helping to spread that. That's how I interpreted it.
Okay. Yeah, I had a different, and again, we in the same room with the conversation.
I thought it was movies. Now we don't listen to a whole talk.
Right.
Usually movies we walk away with the two extremes. Whole talk now that we probably cannot see because I don't know if it was recorded.
Right. But I think we just got to go visit him. He said he got an open door policy.
Nice. So we definitely,
we got to go talk to him because it's aligned with everything that we're doing,
Mhm.
whether it's CFG, whether it's the elements, it aligns. Like economic development is at the source of community, because if we're not improving, if we're not satisfying our basic needs and then beginning to thrive, then where is our community as a whole?
You just mentioned CFG.
Yes.
And I don't think we made the announcement about CFG, but we officially filed.
Yeah.
501c3.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yes.
indeed. So we do have a pending 501c3. Hopefully we'll be getting our letter in the next couple weeks and be official, but we are able to operate as a 501c3 as of now. I think, what is our official date? Was it my birthday? No, it was the same week though, wasn't it?
It was the same. It was that Friday.
Yeah.
January, what's it the
No, it was the Friday before. Yeah,
Friday
before I left.
Right before your birthday. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we are.
And then the CFG is Communities for Generations Incorporated. So
good.
Yes, we got to put that name out there. Yes.
Incorporated. Yeah.
Incorporated. Yes.
Absolutely.
So
New Haven Register, independent, come interview us.
Yeah. Put it out there. Indeed.
info@theelements.world. We'll be glad.
It's rolling at the bottom. Come check us out. That's the website. And connect with us, because we need to get this out there. We need to connect with the people and get this information going. So we had some topics that we wanted to cover.
Right.
I
know we are already 20 minutes in.
I just looked at the timer to see where we were, so we can move on into that.
Yeah.
Let me start it off by just introducing tonight, as we talked about what we make our children believe, the independence, the making conscious choices about food, which is, I'm touching on what we're going to go into. The girls tonight made a air fried salmon.
Okay.
With a honey glaze.
Oh, yeah.
And a vegetable fried rice with, I believe, broccoli, cauliflower, corn, onion, and peppers.
Yeah, they made that?
They did that.
Wow.
In the vein.
Yeah.
Yes.
So definitely conscious eating over here.
Mm-hmm,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And all I heard were whole foods there.
Right.
Those were whole foods in their natural state. They were not processed.
Right.
So that's key when we talk about just eating healthy. Any other segue of Earth you got into where we about to go with this conversation? Because you know what, I was not able to, and maybe we could do that now. Pull up that other website to get more information on the different establishments that we were going to talk about tonight.
So you're talking about the rest? Oh, you're talking? Oh, the restaurants.
Yeah.
So yes.
I can't have a segue though into what we
go into that.
She said she mentioned all whole foods, unprocessed, and the one caveat in our meal tonight was the rice. It was the only thing in the house, and it was an enriched rice, an enriched long grain rice. That I would say would not be a choice typically, because it's enriched, meaning the natural minerals have been removed and restored with something. And why would that even be done? Makes no sense whatsoever. When just the whole grain rice, like a jasmine, a basmati, something like that, is just truly going to be the rice picked, bagged, so that's what we mean by conscious eating. And no, I didn't purchase it, so but it was what was in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing here. Like, so tonight we had black lentils. We love the black lentils with coconut milk. But we had root vegetables. And my kids are not used to the root vegetables. But again, they ate it, right? Like, Maya wanted to eat crackers with the soup. And Ronaldo said to her, like, eating processed food, like, he just kind of made a scenario for her to understand mixing whole food versus with processed food. Like, you're eating whole food that's going to pretty much fill you up. Eating processed food, you're going to be hungry. And she ate the soup without the crackers, and we're good, and her belly's full and the food was delicious. But yeah, like when we talk about food, definitely just reading labels. And I also understand that the cost of food is very much high, right? Just to be healthy, eat healthy, is, we know the rise of food, the cost of food is going up. And so how do you manage that? How do you provide food for your families and cook for them? And it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge. It is. But at the end of the day, you got restaurants who are coming up and marketing this sort of vegan, like pitching the vegan, right? So my niece who went to Florida, she comes across, was it bacon?
Bacon.
Can we say it?
Yeah, this is
bacon bitch, right? So I'm thinking it's bacon bite, right? And it's bacon bitch. And so you're greeted inside the restaurant saying, "Hey, bitch." So that's how you're greeted when you walk into the restaurant. As this is like a term of endearment. Like, thank you for calling me a bitch. Right?
No, thank you.
And then, so the women, she said that the costumes were pretty much like Hooters, right? Crop tops, booty shorts. So now you have the uniforms where women are dressed with no clothes on. Got it. And then they gave my nephew a shot. So they was like shot. Like, it was his birthday. So apparently that's their thing. They give shots. So it was a watered down alcohol drink. I'm lost on this one. But again, when we talk about like food and restaurants and things like that, so yeah.
And I think there's this growing trend. I'm just now looking at the website because you did share it with, we talked about this at Breaking Bread, but there's this growing trend of shock value when it comes to like marketing to people. And then there seems to be like what I'm perceiving as the balance is incorporating plant-based or healthy in it to kind of counter it. So now you got, we had the same conversation about slutty vegan. So you got slutty vegan and now you got bacon bitch.
Right.
And that slutty vegan was the same kind of, like I was taken aback because as soon as you walk in the door, hey, slut.
That's what I was about. That's what I was asked. I was muted. Don't they have a
like their marketing? And the thing about it is, that was really what it was that brought the company to like hundreds of $1 million is the marketing. It is the shock value. It's something like this isn't something that was going on before. And we are a very different generation that we have coming up, and the exposure to social media and the short attention span and the need to grab your attention like so quickly. So, they're used to calling each other out their names. Like, this whole bitches, like you said, as a term of endearment or slut, like, and I'm like, if I was coming in with children, I'm insulted. So how am I
impression am I leaving on you know what children?
Yeah. And for that to be the way that we interact, and I don't know if Bacon Bitch is a minority owned business, as they say. I do know that Slutty Vegan is, and like honestly, she is a genius. Pinky, the woman behind it, but because she's basing this concept on from a business perspective, what she has is a gold mine. But then there's the moral, and I won't even say moral because then that to me ties into religion.
The value influence.
Absolutely.
The values, the principles.
Right, absolutely.
It goes back to everything we do Breaking Bread for, to make sure our children are raised within people who share common values. And that they're exposed to values that are going to make for a whole, healthy,
self-being. Self-value, self-worth, interaction.
Person,
Yes, because words have power, right? Words have power.
They have vibration, and we are energetic beings. So even if you think this is a term of endearment, there's a vibration attached to it. So when I hear this, like it's insulting my beingness. Like it's a whole lower level vibration that is coming at me, and we are probably more aware than maybe some who are really just open to like any kind of energy coming in. That how does this impact them? How does this impact them? And then once you get past the cultural piece of these restaurants, right? Because that's the culture. The culture is the way that they dress, the words that they speak, the name of the items that you could purchase on the menu. That's the culture. Once you get past the culture, which doesn't seem to be something that is healthy, then you look at the ingredients of the food.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And
wow, that's actually a dangerous combination, really.
That is a dangerous combination.
That's a dangerous combination because it begins with what we consume, what we think, what we believe about ourselves.
Yeah, that mind, body, and spirit is all interconnected, right? So
Really
you coming in, hearing those words, then you're consuming those foods, right?
So you order a one night stand or a sloppy toppy, right? Like you order. So they got the one night stand, they got the sloppy toppies, they got and these are the things that you're saying. I'm on the Bacon Bitch website. You could order naked bitches is part of the menu. So like on a subconscious, you could order side bitch, extra bitch, and thirsty bitch.
Okay.
This is all the menu. So on a subconscious level, right? When you walk into the establishment, they calling you out your name. Regardless if they got a smile on your face, depending on the culture you come from, like these are fighting words, right?
They are.
Their arguments have happened just from calling somebody out their name.
Right.
But now
right.
Right.
People, who you calling the bitch, right? Like
what happened to unity?
Well, it's a term of endearment now. Hey, bitch.
So they call you out your name, and then you got to look at the menu to order something. And you're reading, the name, the phrases that are coming at you. And all of this is still, again, that lower vibrational kind of, and it's entertainment and shock value, right?
And then you say what you want.
Right.
And you have to say it, right? You got to say, okay,
I would like
a main bitch, and then I want to get a side bitch,
right.
or I want sloppy
Can
top.
I have?
Yes.
So the show wasn't even supposed to be about the power of those words and the vibration and what they're resonating, cell to cell, like cell to cell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And as I'm thinking about it, right, my niece brought her son in there, right? So he's hearing, right, it was his birthday, 15. So you want a thirsty bitch? What was the other names, right? So now you're giving him, right? So you're giving these young people names of what to call
normalizing,
right?
It's the normalization,
and this negative, low vibration connotation of women.
I had a thirsty bitch at like you know what I mean? Like that's a conversation, but
it was the best,
right?
So now, so you have the verbal, right? Then you have the words that you've read, and then now you look at the menu items, and it's the food that you're ingesting. So both of these places, it's comfort food. And what I wanted to say when you were talking about like Whole Foods and the food choices, this is not about restriction.
No.
Because obviously we indulge, right? It's not about like fasting or, having something that's restrictive to you, like, oh, we can't ever have fun. Everybody wants to indulge from time to time. So that's not what the conversation is about. But what concerns me is when you tout things as being plant-based, like that's connected to being healthier, right? Oh, if something's plant-based, then that's healthier than something that's not plant-based, right? You label something as vegan, and all of a sudden vegans are supposed to be like healthier just because they're vegans. But you can be an unhealthy vegan and you can eat unhealthy plant-based foods. And there are times, and this is one of those instances, where it may even be healthier to eat meat as opposed to something created in a lab that we have no
biologically
idea what the long-term effects are going to be. We've been eating meat for centuries. So we know cholesterol, we know, digestive issues, we know the things that can happen from eating meat. But this thing that was just created, that they don't even have enough data on, this hemoglobin, whatever. And we're going to pull up the ingredients because we want this to be a teachable moment. It's not about like
negative Impossible Burger.
No, absolutely not. But just being conscious and reading, right? Reading.
Yes. and educating yourself, because when you want to make healthy choices for yourself and your family, you have to have the information on board to do that. And I think a lot of times with marketing, we become misinformed. We get these catchphrases and we, make these assumptions based off of information that's been given to us and not necessarily digging deeper to find out, if it is really healthy for us. Mm-hmm. So I did want to just, so that it's not just us talking, and this information is readily available, online for you to look into yourself. Mm-hmm. But both of those restaurants offer an alternative burger, right? I know for sure Slutty Vegan is all vegan, basically, the name, but they offer both the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger. Mm. Okay. So my stance is coming from a place of information and education and understanding what is healthy for me and the choices that I make for my family. Mm-hmm. You could have burgers. Y'all make a mean bean burger that can easily replace either one of these, and it's coming from a whole food space. And when we say whole foods, that means that it was in its natural form, it was cooked, it may be mashed, but it's not the same as something being a soy protein concentrate or isolate extract. Because
that isolate, the pea isolate. Oh my gosh.
Right. Yes. So they're taking something whole and they're in a laboratory, they're taking pieces of it. Like they're basically deconstructing it in some way, shape, or form to get the isolated version of whatever they're using to create a patty that then allows you to mimic meat. I don't know why we're mimicking meat to begin with. They're adding beet juice to give it the red bleed.
Yes.
For and this is a psychological thing. Why do we think that we need that? And what is it doing for our body? How are we digesting that? Because the protein, even if it's coming from a plant, the pea, we're not supposed to eat it and isolate it. You eat the pea. Right. Mash up the pea, do what you do with the pea, right. But you're eating the pea. But once you start deconstructing it and taking it apart like that and in a laboratory and doing isolates or just functioning off of the protein molecules of this vegetable, how does your body process that?
Right. Your body.
How are we able to digest
it's foreign?
That? Right. It is foreign.
It's foreign
right.
to your body.
I don't recognize it. Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
So there are definitely ingredients that, like Earth said, in reading the labels, to question, is this something that is a better alternative?
So what's that soy
protein isolate?
So if you see that leg hemoglobin, it's on the third line of the list, but that is their proprietary genetically modified material that they have to make it more meat-like. And also to give it the bleed. So that's what makes the Impossible Burger different from the Beyond Burger, that the Impossible Burger actually has like a patented genetically modified ingredient within it that gives it that beef feel to it. But again, we don't know the long-term research on how that impacts the body.
We don't.
Both of these burgers have just as much, if not more, sodium as a beef-based burger. When you look at it side by side, as far as comparisons, these are the things that we look for. How processed is this? This is a processed food. It's not a whole food. So that in and of itself is going to put it in the category of not something that you can be eating on a day-to-day basis.
No.
So
break it down, Wayne. Break it down.
Exactly. I mean, this right here, yeah. And when you say Impossible, because I know Burger King was big on their Whopper, right? They made the vegan Whopper. I don't know if it was Impossible or Beyond Meat, but I think they were the ones who pretty much gave these companies the publicity pretty much through the Whopper, because everyone loves the Whopper. We remember growing up eating Whoppers. Like Whoppers.
Right.
Charbroil.
Yes.
It was my preferred burger over Mickey D's.
Right, yes.
Absolutely. I was definitely Burger King or Wendy's.
Burger King.
And I want to make it clear that it's not about bashing any businesses or any, manufacturers or
Absolutely
companies.
not.
No.
This is
Really
solely for educational purposes of our community of people who we love and care and want to see you live
And bringing
long time.
awareness, right?
Yes.
Because
Awareness.
even being a vegan, we've met many sick vegans, right? Who are just still.
That is a thing, because if it's about whole foods, it's about listening to your body. Everybody isn't supposed to be completely 100% plant-based. That doesn't work for everybody. You have to listen to your body as to what your body needs. Sometimes, I know for me personally, when I ate one of those burgers, it did not feel right. Like my body did, like I felt sick. I felt nauseous, like I wanted to bring it back up. It didn't digest well.
But let me say too, Hafiza, to that's significant. But it's once you have detoxed your body though from certain things, it's no different for me where I can say cheese is still a weakness of mine.
Mhm.
But when I do not consume dairy, any cheese, which is the only dairy I still consume, I don't do butter, milk, any of that. It will be just the cheese. So when I don't do it for an extensive period of time and then relapse, there's an immediate reaction in my body to it. I remember when I first stopped eating pork and came home to visit once, and my mom was frying pork chops. I had to go sit on the porch. The smell of I could not sit in the house and smell it after I stopped eating it.
Yeah.
And still can't. I can't sit in a space where pork is frying. The smell makes me nauseous.
Really?
And I've eaten all of it as a little girl.
We had that conversation about that. Yeah.
So it's just, so just that piece. But if your body is already sort of, sluggish, and your digestive system and your endocrine system is disrupted as a result of, the wrong foods or non-whole foods, you're not going to have an immediate reaction to something like an Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger.
And another thing too is like this sort of title of, like you said, plant-based, right? We're calling these foods plant-based. And then you look at the ingredients, right? There's nothing.
Well, look, beets is a plant.
Well,
everything here comes from a plant at some point in time. But
and not even, that's a root, right?
But again, like we're calling these things like, are you a plant-based eater? And it's like, plant-based means that you eat plants, right? Like you're eating your kale, you're eating your your arugula and those type of things. You're eating plant food. This is not,
right. And then the other misconception is I've heard people say, they went vegan or what have you and got sick, right? But a lot of times in the transition, if you're doing it from an uneducated space and you're trying to imitate how you used to eat, but just kind of veganize it with the mock meats and the various things that are on the market, because you could get junk food that's vegan.
Oreos is vegan,
which is loaded with sugar. Vegan
Oreos is
vegan, high in sugar. If you look at a vegan a dessert, the first ingredient is going to be sugar. And what that means is that's the most of what's in that item. That's how ingredients are listed. So just, as we're running out of time, everybody, with the last, few minutes, I wanted to just touch on those labels and how, we're sort of misguided by efforts to eat healthier, but yet we still want the flavor. So we're going after seasonings. And when we say reading labels, which Earth started at the beginning, what are you looking for? You're looking for things like MSG, monosodium glutamate, particularly. That is the key disruptor, and it goes by so many other names. So I would just say, do your due diligence and just, dig into it. Dr. Phil Valentine has a perfect video where he, gives you the list of, other names that it goes by. So try to seek that out. But
they both have natural flavors in them, y'all.
They do, and make it a home recipe, right?
Natural flavors,
make it
natural flavors, spices, dehydrated items. We talked about isolated, and what's the other one they say in
concentrate,
modified,
yeah.
Hydrolyzed,
refined.
Oh yeah.
All of these things are taking it's why the food is no longer whole and it's processed, right?
Absolutely.
So my girl Tabitha, brilliant, is extremely successful, has, she made changes based on health and those types of things. But I believe there's a seasoning that became really popular for her. And they could, if it's the adobo sunshine, the adobo citrus, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's that seasoning, that adobo has a line of products, one of which my family does use, but it says very clearly on the labeling, no MSG. Now, this is hoping we could trust the packaging and the government, the USDA and all of that. Okay, assuming we could trust all that. It says no MSG. You know, you have to label properly. So it says no MSG in it, but there's 2 or 3 other of the same versions of the same line of adobo that does not list that, or you may see it in there as monosodium glutamate. And any of the other names that it says. So that citrus is one of those. You know, I remember wanting to try it, sought it out in the store, found it, read the label, and was like, oh, I can't do it.
Right.
You know, and why is it important? Because the MSG is affecting our endocrine system. And when the endocrine system is disrupted, that's typically the system that is being diseased by I lost my train of thought, you all.
Right. Well, I know a lot of times, especially with women, it's associated with like fibroids and definitely ways of dispelling toxins from your body. And because they're overloaded, they can't do the job that they do.
That is supposed to do naturally. Exactly. So yeah, that's the consuming of it. And it's responsible for those ailments that come up that the doctor just can't figure out what it is.
Right.
You know, you're aching, you're experiencing something. It's like they can't have anything.
And they don't know
if
what's
it's not
going on.
stress, it's probably because your endocrine system has been disrupted.
Right. And that can happen from makeup. It's like all of the things that we put in and on our body. That it's coming from a toxic space. It's a chemical, and our body is having a chemical response. And we are naturally, our body is perfect. Like it does exactly what it needs to do.
It fights
effectively. We are innately designed to heal, but when we do these things to our body, we have to overwork. So all of the ailments are symptoms. It's like your body talking to you and telling you, okay, this ain't working for us. That ain't working for us. This got us going, through some changes. And if we don't listen, then that's when it gets exacerbated and becomes dis-ease.
Right.
So they're paying attention when we're breaking out, when our digestive tracts are off, headaches and migraines and, fibroids or really heavy cycles. For men, it's like erectile dysfunction,
irregular bowel movements.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All of that.
So
our body talks to us, right? Like if we really listen and pay attention, it talks to us.
Absolutely. So, we want to keep everyone informed. That's the energy and the intention behind all of it. And we got a lot coming up where we want to connect. Tonight the conversation was about food. I think food is significant and important in any community. If you can't feed yourself as a people, then And if your food is being fed to you, because right now we don't have any control. We used to have family gardens, but that's a whole nother conversation about
the gardens and the farms.
Yes, right. And where we getting our seeds from? Yes, right. Yeah.
Agriculture is significant, especially when it comes to community.
Absolutely. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear some feedback, whether it be comments, questions, criticism, whatever, constructive criticism. We want to hear it. So email should be scrolling across the bottom.
What a website. Check out the website.
Elements.world. Yeah.
And world is 9 minutes. I want to make sure we talk about the world is mine. The world is mine.
Right.
We want to talk about what's coming up. There's a lot we getting ready for you all. We've been back
ready.
Making stuff happen.
Are we making announcements now? Like, okay.
No,
not everything.
Not everything.
Okay.
But what we can discuss, what we got coming up in February, right? Because January is pretty much done.
Yes.
Let's see. So February, we had some calendar changes. So what did we replace? Did we decide what the replacement was for February?
I think we were going to do
Connect and
Build. No. After tomorrow, we will know.
Right. So I'm not sure we can talk about what's coming up.
Right. We can't. So I was like, we sure? Yeah. Well, we got Baba Mustafa's fundraiser party.
So. We do have the CEDP fundraiser coming up. That's March.
April.
So we don't want to go too far.
We don't want too far. So right
now. Calendar. Definitely
Yeah.
follow our calendar on the website.
Yes.
But February, it will be a connecting bill, but there's a little spin happening on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, until we finalize things, we can't really, there's not much we can say about February
Right.
at this point.
And we hope to have, or at least be participating in an offering each week.
Mhm.
Meaning, like, even if it's not something that we are doing, that we're going to be somewhere supporting, what's going on in
Someone
February.
else who
We
does
definitely
it.
believe in Black History 365, so we don't,
Right.
limit ourselves to a month in any way. But we will be showing up and supporting, as well as having some events of our own in the coming weeks.
Mhm.
And if you are looking for some events that you want the elements to help support and curate, definitely the elements.world, reach out. Because that's something that we're looking definitely like tapping into the community and curating some events and getting our name out there, right? So
Yes.
yes.
Oh, we can tell the people Wednesdays at Next Haven. Tell them about Soul and Sasson.
Oh, yes.
Is it
Yes.
Soul?
So get with the plug-in. So yes, every
Something to
Wednesday,
do. You give them something
Sazone
cultural to do with your family.
Yes.
Come catch a drum circle. Bring your
absolutely a free drumming circle every Wednesday at Next Haven from 5 to 7. Yes, 5 to 7 on Wednesday. So tomorrow night. Get you some free drumming and music. They got the microphone, karaoke, Yeah, so it's just a beautiful family.
And it's for the whole family too.
It's for the whole family. Yeah.
Yes,
It's from 5 to
absolutely.
7 if you want to bring something to eat and get dinner out the way.
Yes.
Do that. And
Yes.
it's a vibe. It's a place to
Sazone
be
and
on
Soul.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's
So
excellent.
come on, baby. Come on, baby. Do that conga.
Yeah. I don't know if Sony gonna let us play that. We don't own the rights to this music.
Right. We can make our own song.
Right.
Yes. So we
All
definitely
right,
want you
good
to
people.
connect with the website. Stay tuned. We'll be updating our events there, and follow us on social media. You see our names. That's how you can get to us. And definitely connect with us as the Elements on social media, so you can keep abreast to what we have going on.
Yes,
locally and virtually, all of that good stuff. Yes.
We're everywhere.
We are. Listen, the element. People gonna be saying, "I saw you in this. I read you in this. I see you in here." We're everywhere. Be prepared. I'm telling you. The next 6 months.
People, it's a movement.
The next 6 months. Yes.
Yeah. Excited. All right, y'all. I got work to do.
Yes, indeed. All right. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. God bless and good night.
God bless. Good
be
night.
safe. Live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Hey.
Closure.
Closure.
Live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Yes. Love it.